Stop. Just for a second. I want you to think about the last time you said the words, "I'm sorry." Was it because you made a genuine, harmful mistake? Or was it because you were being you? Sorry for being too quiet in a loud room. Sorry for being too ambitious when others were content. Sorry for having a boundary they didn't like. Sorry for not replying to a text message instantly. Sorry for taking up space. For having an opinion. For existing. You have been taught that apologizing is a sign of politeness, of good character. That is a lie. In the modern world, the apology is not a tool of reconciliation. It has become a currency of the powerless. It is the rent you pay to exist in someone else's world without making them uncomfortable. And with every sorry you utter, you are handing over a piece of your soul. There are people in your life who feed on your apologies. They thrive on your self-doubt. They build their comfort zone on the ruins of your boundaries. They don't want your respect. They want your submission. And your constant apologizing is the most beautiful sound in the world to them. 500 years ago, Niccolo Machiavelli observed the brutal theater of power. He understood that the world is not divided into the good and the bad. It is divided into those who rule and those who are ruled. And the ruled are always the ones who are apologizing for their own existence. Today, that ends. By the end of this video, you will understand the dark power dynamics behind the apology culture. You will see how your politeness has been weaponized against you. And you will learn the Machiavellian art of unapologetic power, not arrogance, not rudeness, but the profound, unshakable strength of a person who no longer asks for permission to be themselves. This is your reclamation. Now, before we begin, you must make a declaration of independence. Drop this in the comments below. I am done apologizing for my power. Let's diagnose this sickness. Let's give it a name. The apology plague, how a virtue became a virus. This is the psychological pandemic that has infected modern society. It's the belief that your ambition, your silence, your boundaries, your very essence, are things that require an apology if they make someone else feel even a flicker of discomfort. You have been programmed from birth to be a peacemaker. Don't rock the boat. Don't be difficult. Just say you're sorry and make it go away. But what, exactly, are you making go away? You are making your own needs go away. You are making your own standards go away. You are making your authentic self go away. The person who apologizes constantly is not a good person. They are a terrified person. They are terrified of conflict. They are terrified of disapproval. They are terrified of being abandoned. And this terror makes them the perfect subject for control. The weak person believes an apology is a bridge. The powerful person knows it is a concession. Every time you apologize for something that is not a true mistake, you are conceding ground on the battlefield of your life. You are saying, your comfort is more important than my truth. You are saying, your feelings are a fact, but my boundaries are negotiation. You are saying, you are the judge, and I am the one on trial. This dynamic is not accidental. It is the very foundation of social control. The person who receives the apology holds the power. They get to decide if you are forgiven. They get to decide when the issue is resolved. You have willingly placed your emotional fate in their hands. Machiavelli once wrote, "He who is the cause of another becoming powerful is ruined." When you apologize unnecessarily, you are the cause of the other person becoming powerful over you. You are actively participating in your own ruin. Think about it. The world doesn't demand apologies from the powerful. Does the lion apologize to the gazelle? Does the storm apologize for its wind? Does the CEO apologize for a ruthless but necessary business decision? No. Power does not apologize. Power acts. It is only the weak, the uncertain, the one who doubts their own right to exist, who feels the constant, gnawing need to say, "I'm sorry." This isn't about becoming a monster who never admits fault. This is about understanding the profound difference between a strategic apology for a real transgression, and a compulsive apology for your very nature. The first is a tool of a confident leader. The second is the symptom of a slave. Today, you break the chains. Here are the 7 unapologetic laws of power that will permanently cure you of the apology plague. Master them, and you will reclaim your throne. Law number 1, the anatomy of a false apology. First, you must learn to identify the poison. A false apology is an apology for your identity, not your actions. You must learn to recognize the situations where your mouth says, "I'm sorry," but your soul is screaming, "I have a right to be this way." These include apologizing for your ambition. "Sorry, I know I'm being a bit intense about this project." You are apologizing for your drive. Stop. Apologizing for your boundaries. "Sorry, I can't help you with that right now. I'm really busy." You are apologizing for protecting your time. Stop. Apologizing for your silence. "Sorry, I've been a bit quiet today." You are apologizing for not performing social energy on demand. Stop. Apologizing for your success. "I just got lucky." You are apologizing for your competence to make others feel better. Stop. Apologizing for having a different opinion. "Sorry, but I just see it differently." You are apologizing for your own mind. Stop. The psychological mechanism. Each of these false apologies is a micro-surrender. You are preemptively diffusing a conflict that may not even exist. You are prioritizing the other person's potential discomfort over your own authentic expression. You are training them, and yourself, that your natural state is something to be ashamed of. It is an act of self-sabotage disguised as social grace. The polite person's mistake. The polite person believes these apologies are social lubricants. They think it makes them seem humble and approachable. What it actually does is signal a lack of conviction. It tells the other person that you are uncertain about your own right to be ambitious, to have boundaries, or to hold an opinion. And that uncertainty is an invitation for them to challenge you, to push you, to test how far they can make you bend. Your apology gives them the green light. The strategist's counter-move. The strategist replaces the apology with a calm, unapologetic statement of fact. This requires a radical shift in your language and your mindset. Instead of, "Sorry, I'm really intense about this," you say, "I am passionate about this project." Instead of, "Sorry, I can't help you right now," you say, "I'm not available right now." Notice the absence of can't. Can't implies a lack of ability. Not available implies a choice. Instead of, "Sorry, but I disagree," you say, "I see it differently," or "My perspective is X." Instead of, "Sorry, I've been quiet," you say, "Nothing." Your silence does not require an explanation. It is a state of being, not a crime. This is not rude. It is clear. It is confident. It communicates that you are not ashamed of your ambition, your boundaries, or your thoughts. It forces others to deal with your reality, rather than allowing you to apologize for it. This will feel uncomfortable at first. Your programming will scream at you to soften the blow, to add a sorry to make it nicer. You must resist this urge. As Machiavelli understood, a prince who seems hesitant or apologetic in his commands invites rebellion. A command is a command. A boundary is a boundary. It does not require an apology. Your first act of reclamation is to go on an apology diet. For the next 24 hours, you are forbidden from saying "I'm sorry" unless you have genuinely, accidentally, physically harmed someone. You will be shocked at how many times you have to catch yourself. And you will feel how much power you take back with every apology you withhold. Law number 2, the discomfort doctrine. Your growth, your success, your very freedom, lies on the other side of one thing: other people's discomfort. Let me repeat that. The life you want requires you to be willing to make other people uncomfortable. The apology plague is rooted in the fear of causing this discomfort. You apologize for your boundaries because you fear their disappointment. You apologize for your ambition because you fear their envy. You apologize for your truth because you fear their disagreement. You have made it your life's mission to manage the emotional state of everyone around you. This is a recipe for a small, suffocated life. The psychological mechanism. The people who benefit from your apologetic nature have built their comfort zones right on top of your boundaries. Your willingness to say yes when you mean no is a pillar of their convenience. Your silence on matters of disrespect is the foundation of their ego. When you stop apologizing and start standing your ground, you are not attacking them. You are simply reclaiming your own territory. But from their perspective, it feels like an attack. You are disturbing their comfort. You are violating the unspoken contract that said you would always be the one to bend. And they will react. They will call you selfish. They will call you difficult. They will say, "You've changed." The polite person's mistake. The moment this pushback comes, the polite person crumbles. The discomfort of being seen as the bad guy is too much to bear. They rush to apologize. "I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to upset you." They immediately abandon their new boundary and retreat to the old, comfortable, powerless dynamic. They have just learned a devastating lesson. My growth is a threat to my relationships. The strategist's counter-move. The strategist understands that this discomfort is not a sign of failure. It is the sound of victory. It is the proof that you are finally breaking free. The strategist embraces the discomfort doctrine. They learn to sit in the tension of someone else's negative reaction without absorbing it. Step 1. Anticipate the discomfort. Know that it is coming. When you set a new boundary, expect the pushback. It is a natural part of the process. Step 2. Do not engage with the emotion. When they get upset, do not get drawn into an argument about their feelings. "I can't believe you won't help me. You're being so selfish." You do not say, "I'm not selfish. Here are all the reasons I'm not selfish." You say, "I understand you're disappointed. My decision stands." You are acknowledging their feeling without validating their accusation. Step 3. Hold the frame. You must remain the calm, rational center while they are the emotional storm. Do not raise your voice. Do not get defensive. Your calmness will be more unnerving to them than any anger you could show. It communicates that their emotional outburst has zero effect on your resolve. Machiavelli once wrote about the necessity for a prince to be able to act against faith, against charity, against humanity, against religion, when necessary to maintain the state. Your state is your own sovereignty, your own mind. To maintain it, you must sometimes act against the religion of being liked. You must be willing to be seen as the villain in someone else's story, if their story requires you to be a victim. The people who are truly on your side will adapt. They may be uncomfortable at first, but they will come to respect your new strength. The people who leave your life, they were never your allies. They were your colonists. And you have just declared your independence. Law number 3, weaponize your silence. In a world drowning in noise, explanations, and justifications, silence is the ultimate statement of power. The apologetic person is terrified of silence. They rush to fill it with words, to explain away any potential misunderstanding, to smooth over any tension. The powerful person wields silence like a sharpened blade. The anatomy of the unapologetic silence. This is not a passive, timid silence. It is an active, intentional, and often intimidating silence. It is the silence that follows an unreasonable request. It is the silence that meets a passive-aggressive comment. It is the silence that hangs in the air after you've stated a boundary and someone is waiting for you to soften it with an apology. The psychological mechanism. Silence creates a vacuum. The other person, uncomfortable with the void, will rush to fill it. And in doing so, they will reveal everything. They will reveal their insecurity. They will reveal their true intentions. They will often talk themselves out of their own ridiculous position without you having to say a single word. When you refuse to apologize or explain, your silence communicates several powerful messages. Your request comment does not deserve a verbal response. I am not intimidated by this tension. I can sit here all day. The burden is now on you to justify yourself, not on me to defend myself. The polite person's mistake. Someone makes a subtle dig at you in a group setting. The polite person feels the sting, but then feels an immediate pressure to keep the peace. They will laugh it off awkwardly, or quickly change the subject. They apologize for the tension that the other person created. They have just rewarded bad behavior with social comfort. The strategist's counter-move. The strategist meets the subtle dig with a moment of pure, unwavering, silent eye contact. You don't glare. You don't look angry. You look observant. You hold their gaze for 1 or 2 seconds longer than is comfortable. Then, you turn your attention to someone else, as if the person who made the comment no longer exists. You have just, without a single word, excommunicated them from the conversation. You have passed judgment. You have delivered a consequence. And you did it with absolute power and control. Machiavelli understood that a reputation for being decisive was crucial. Sometimes, the most decisive action is a deliberate and meaningful inaction. Your silence becomes a reputation. People will learn that if they cross a line with you, they will not be met with an argument they can win. They will be met with a cold, dismissive silence that is far more punishing. Practice this. The next time someone asks you to do something you don't want to do, instead of immediately launching into an apologetic excuse, just pause. Let the silence do the work. Often, they will start backtracking for you. Oh, I know you're probably busy. It's totally fine if you can't. They have just negotiated against themselves because they couldn't handle your unapologetic silence. Silence is not emptiness. It is a space you control. Fill it with your power. Law number 4. The power of the unapologetic no. No is a complete sentence. But for the person infected with the apology plague, it is the hardest sentence in the world to say. Their no is always followed by a desperate, apologetic paragraph. No, I'm so sorry, I wish I could, but I have this other thing, and I feel so bad, maybe next time. This is not a no. This is a please don't be mad at me for having a life. The psychological mechanism. An apologetic no is an invitation to negotiate. When you provide a long list of reasons and excuses, you are giving the other person ammunition. They can now dissect your reasons. Oh, that other thing isn't until later, you have time. You can just do this one small part for me, it won't take long. You have turned your boundary into a debate, and the more persistent person will always win that debate. The polite person's mistake. They believe that a nice no is one that is softened with apologies and justifications. They are so focused on managing the other person's feelings of rejection that they forget the entire point of saying no in the first place, to protect their own resources. Their apologetic no often ends up turning into a resentful yes. The strategist's counter-move. The strategist delivers a no that is clear, calm, final, and unapologetic. It is a brick wall, not a velvet rope. The formula for an unapologetic no. Start with clarity. No hesitation. No softening language. Be brief. The shorter the better. Do not provide an excuse. Excuses are for the weak. A simple "I'm not available" or "that doesn't work for me" is sufficient. Do not apologize. You have nothing to be sorry for. Protecting your time, energy, and priorities is not a crime. Let's see it in action. Them, can you stay late tonight to help me finish my project? The apologetic no. Oh, I'm so sorry, I really wish I could, but I have dinner plans and I just can't get out of them. I feel terrible. The unapologetic no. I won't be able to do that. Them, can I borrow $100? The apologetic no. I'm sorry, things are a little tight for me right now, I just paid some bills. The unapologetic no. I have a policy of not lending money. The unapologetic no is powerful because it is non-negotiable. It doesn't offer an opening for a debate. It is a statement of fact from a sovereign individual. As Machiavelli would suggest, a declaration from a prince is not the beginning of a discussion. It is the end of one. Your no must carry the same finality. This will feel terrifying at first. You will feel the urge to explain, to justify, to make them understand. You must kill this urge. The right people will respect your no without needing a dissertation. The people who push back, who demand a reason, are the very people you need to be saying no to. They are revealing that they believe they are entitled to your resources, and your no is simply an obstacle to be overcome. Your no is your shield. Stop handing it to people with an apology attached. A shield with an apology is not a shield. It's a target. Law number 5, the reversal of judgment. The person who lives in a state of apology is constantly worried about being judged. What will they think of me? Will they be upset? Will they still like me? You are living under the shadow of their imaginary courtroom. The ultimate power move is to flip this dynamic on its head. You stop being the one who is judged, and you become the one who judges. The psychological mechanism. This is not about becoming an arrogant, critical person. It is about shifting your internal locus of control. Instead of entering a situation hoping for approval, you enter it to grant approval. You are no longer auditioning for a role in their life. You are casting for roles in yours. The person seeking approval gives off an energy of neediness. The person granting approval gives off an energy of abundance and self-possession. People can feel this difference instantly. The polite person's mistake. The polite person walks into a room and immediately starts performing. They smile too much. They agree too easily. They work hard to be liked. Their entire being is a question, am I good enough for you? The strategist's counter-move. The strategist walks into a room and starts observing. They are calm. They listen more than they speak. They are not trying to impress anyone. Their entire being is a statement, let's see if you are good enough for me. Here's how you put this into practice. In conversations, stop trying to prove how interesting you are. Start trying to discover if they are interesting. Ask thoughtful questions. Listen to their answers. Evaluate their character. On a date, stop worrying about whether they like you. Start deciding if you like them. Do their values align with yours? Do they have integrity? Do they respect your time? In a job interview, stop trying to be the perfect candidate. Start interviewing them. Is this a company you would be proud to work for? Is this a leader you would be willing to follow? This is a profound internal shift. You are no longer the one seeking validation. You have become the source of validation. Machiavelli wrote extensively about how a prince must be a shrewd judge of character. He cannot afford to surround himself with fools or flatterers. He must constantly be evaluating the people around him. You must adopt this same mindset. Your time, your energy, and your trust are your kingdom's most valuable resources. You cannot distribute them to just anyone who asks. You must be a ruthless gatekeeper. When you operate from this frame, something magical happens. People start working harder to impress you. They start to feel that your approval is the prize. The very act of you not seeking their approval makes them desperately want it. You have reversed the flow of power. You stop asking, do they like me? And you start asking, do I respect them? You stop asking, do I fit in? And you start asking, do these people meet my standards? This is not arrogance. This is self-respect. Arrogance is an inflated sense of self based on nothing. This is a measured sense of self based on clear, internal standards. And it is the foundation of unapologetic power. Law number 6, embrace strategic misunderstanding. The apologetic person is obsessed with being understood. They believe that if they can just explain themselves perfectly, everyone will agree with them and the conflict will dissolve. They spend countless hours crafting the perfect email, replaying conversations in their head, and trying to find the right words to make someone get it. This is a fool's errand. Some people are not committed to understanding you. They are committed to misunderstanding you. The psychological mechanism. Your desire for them to understand you is a lever of control. As long as you are still trying to explain yourself, you are still invested. You are still engaged in their game. They can keep moving the goalposts, keep twisting your words, keep claiming you're not being clear enough. And you will keep dancing for them, desperate to be understood. Furthermore, sometimes people need to misunderstand you to maintain their own worldview. If you succeed in a way they thought was impossible, they can't accept that. It would mean they have to question their own limiting beliefs. It is far easier for them to misunderstand your success as luck, privilege, or cheating. It is far easier for them to misunderstand your boundary as selfishness, because the alternative is to admit that they were the one who was being entitled. The polite person's mistake. They believe that every misunderstanding is a problem to be solved through more communication. They cannot rest until the other person says, "Oh, now I understand." They waste enormous amounts of emotional energy on people who have zero interest in seeing their perspective. The strategist's counter-move. The strategist accepts that the approval and understanding of everyone is not only impossible, it is undesirable. They embrace strategic misunderstanding. Step 1. Identify the unwilling. Learn to recognize the people who are not arguing in good faith. These are the people who ignore your points, twist your words, and focus on your tone instead of your substance. Step 2. Disengage. Do not try to win an argument with someone who is committed to misunderstanding you. It is like wrestling with a ghost. You will only exhaust yourself. The ultimate power move is to let them have their misunderstanding. You simply say, "It seems we see this differently. I am no longer going to discuss it." Step 3. Let your results be your argument. Stop trying to convince them with words. Convince the world with your actions. Let your success be the final word. Let your peace be the evidence. Let the life you build be the argument they can never refute. Machiavelli taught that a prince should not be overly concerned with the opinions of those who do not matter. He should focus on securing the state and achieving his objectives. Your state is your own life, your own goals. Stop wasting your time trying to win the hearts and minds of your critics. They don't want to understand you. They want to control you. And your endless explanations are the leash they use. The moment you can look at someone, hear their complete mischaracterization of you, and feel absolutely nothing. No anger, no need to correct them, just a calm, detached indifference. That is the moment you have truly become free. Let them live in their version of reality. You are too busy building your own. Law number 7. The sovereignty of self. This is the final law, the one that underpins all others. You are a sovereign state. Your mind is your territory. Your time and energy are your natural resources. Your boundaries are your borders. The apology plague is the act of constantly allowing other nations to invade your territory, plunder your resources, and redraw your borders to suit their own needs. To be unapologetic is to declare your sovereignty. The psychological mechanism. A sovereign state does not apologize for its existence. It does not apologize for its right to defend its borders. It does not apologize for acting in its own national interest. It operates from a position of inherent right. You must adopt this mindset. You have an inherent right to exist as you are. You have an inherent right to protect your mental and emotional territory. You have an inherent right to act in your own best interest. The polite person's mistake. The polite person acts like a vassal state. They are always checking with the larger empires, their boss, their partner, their social circle, before making a move. They are always paying tribute in the form of apologies and concessions. They live in a state of perpetual dependency. The strategist's counter-move. The strategist becomes the absolute monarch of their own life. This means you are your own highest authority. You may seek counsel, you may gather intelligence, but the final decision is always yours. And you do not apologize for it. You are the commander-in-chief of your own emotions. You feel them, but they do not rule you. You deploy them strategically, or you keep them in reserve. You are the sole legislator of your own moral code. You decide what is right and wrong for you, based on your own principles, not on social pressure. And you live by that code, unapologetically. This is the ultimate expression of power. It is not about controlling others. It is about achieving a state of such profound self-control and self-possession that the opinions and manipulations of others become completely irrelevant. As Machiavelli might conclude, the most secure prince is not the one with the largest army or the most allies. It is the one who is master of his own domain, who relies on his own virtue and his own strength, and who does not need to apologize for the throne on which he sits. You are the prince of your own life. Stop apologizing for your crown. Phase 4. The vision of transformation and identity choice. The journey is over. The lesson is learned. You have seen the apology for what it is. Not a bridge, but a cage. Not a virtue, but a virus. Not a sign of strength, but the anthem of the subordinate. You now stand at the great divide of your life. On one side is the person you were, the person who said sorry for their own shadow, the person who lived in a constant, low-grade fear of disapproval, a ghost in their own life. On the other side is the person you can become, an individual who moves through the world with a quiet, unshakable certainty, someone whose no is a wall and whose yes is a gift, someone who is respected not because they are loud, but because their presence has weight, someone who is free, truly, unapologetically free. Most people will choose to stay on the first side. The comfort of being liked, even if it comes at the cost of being respected, is a powerful drug. The fear of being seen as difficult or selfish is a potent jailer. But you have listened this far. The truth has been planted. You cannot hear what you have heard. You cannot see the bars of the cage you once thought was a home. The choice is now yours. Do you apologize for the truth you have just learned and retreat into the familiar comfort of the cage? The choice is now yours. Do you apologize for the truth you have just learned and retreat into the familiar comfort of the cage? Or do you embrace it and begin the hard, exhilarating work of becoming unapologetically you? Phase 5. The concluding reinforcement and call to action. Do not confuse this with arrogance. Arrogance needs an audience. It screams, "Look at me." This is sovereignty. It needs no one. It simply states, "Here I am." The world is overflowing with people begging to be liked. It is starving for individuals who have the courage to be respected. If this video has sparked a revolution in your mind, then act on it. Smash that like button as a declaration of your new sovereignty. Share this with someone who is still paying the tax of apology. And subscribe for more strategies that will arm you for the throne of your own life. Now, leave your final, unapologetic statement in the comments below. My existence is not an apology. Remember, the moment you stop apologizing for who you are, is the moment the world starts making space for you to be it. Reclaim your power. Now.